I started feeling strange the night after my fourth relationship ended. Not sick, not tired, just uneasy. A knot in my stomach I couldn't explain. I had just come back from a walk and sat down on my bed when a wave of quiet sadness washed over me. I didn't cry at first. But slowly, the silence of the room grew loud enough to press against my chest. And that's when the tears came. Not because of the breakup itself, but because it had ended just like all the others. No cheating, no fighting, no betrayal. Just a slow, steady fading of care, of love, of effort. Like watching a candle die out underwater. And as I sat there, hugging my knees on the bed, one thing, one face, came back to my mind. That woman on the bus. That curse she laid. That trip from Makurdi to Enugu. Maybe it's time I told the full story. It was 4 years ago. I had just graduated and was preparing for NYSC. I was in Makurdi for a family matter, and my return trip to Enugu had already started badly. The sun was scorching, the park was rowdy, and I was tired. I finally managed to squeeze myself into one of those God is good buses. My seat was near the back, window side. I had barely settled in, hoping to enjoy my chilled drink, when she walked in. An older woman, maybe late 60s. She was dragging a massive traveling trunk and carrying 2 smaller bags. Her wrapper was loosened around her waist, her headscarf sliding off. She looked exhausted and overwhelmed. She climbed into the bus, looked around, and landed heavily on the seat beside mine. I glanced at her, then away. Moments later, the drama began. The driver came in and asked her to put her load in the boot, saying the bus couldn't carry it all inside. But she refused. Said she didn't have money for extra loading. So, she dragged the heavy trunk into the aisle of the bus, right between our seats, and set the smaller bags on her lap. The space was already tight. Her trunk pressed against my feet. I shifted uncomfortably, trying to avoid the corner of the box digging into my shin. Then she turned to me and said, "Sister, I beg help me carry this small bag on your lap so I can rest this one on the floor." I looked at her, then at the bag, then back at her. "Ma, I'm sorry, I can't," I said politely. "I paid to have my bag loaded into the boot so I can sit freely. I can't inconvenience myself now." She frowned. "Ben, you can't even hold one small bag for an old woman like me." I shook my head gently. "I'm really sorry. I can't." She stared at me, lips pursed, then exhaled sharply. "Okay. No problem. You young girls of nowadays. God is watching." She turned away, but her voice grew louder. "If I had the money, would I beg you? You that's doing, madam. You too will travel one day and beg. You too will grow old one day and need help. But no worry. Life has a way of humbling proud people." I said nothing, just looked out the window. Then she did the unexpected. "Since you don't have pity, may your own life never find pity when you need it. Since you can't help, may help never find you." Some passengers turned to look. Others shifted uncomfortably. The driver said nothing. The journey continued in silence. She got down at 9th mile, dragging her trunk behind her. She didn't look back. And honestly, I didn't care. At the time, I thought she was just a frustrated old woman, angry at the world. But then, 3 months later, my 4-year relationship with Kenneth started to shake. We had just finished NYSC. Plans were already underway. Marriage talk. Family introduction. Then, boom. Fights started over small things. I tried fixing it. I prayed. I cried. But it just kept dying, until one day, he said it clearly. "I don't think I love you the same anymore." I moved on. Or at least, I tried. Got into another relationship 6 months later. It ended in 5 weeks. Another one, barely 2 months. Then one more, 1 month, 3 weeks, and a few days. Gone. All good men. All started sweet. But somehow, I kept finding myself withdrawing. Not calling back. Not texting. Not arguing even when I should. It was like something inside me had given up before it even began. But that quiet night, sitting in my room with tears and questions, I knew something wasn't normal. I started having dreams. Vague ones. Of being stranded. Forgotten. Of old women looking at me from far away. I began to feel fear. Not regular fear, but the type that creeps in during silence. The one that makes your stomach turn even when nothing is happening. That's when I went to Prophet Sam. He was someone my aunt recommended. Young guy. Calm voice. Wore simple clothes. No drama. I sat in his small office and told him everything. From the bus incident to all the relationships. Every single detail. He listened. Eyes closed. Silent. After I finished, I was expecting him to scream, to say he saw a spirit of delay, or that the woman had tied my joy to her trunk. But instead, he opened his eyes slowly and said, "You are not cursed." I laughed. "Sir, with all due respect, I just told you." "I heard you," he interrupted. "You're not cursed. You're scared." I frowned. He continued, "That day in the bus, you didn't do anything wrong. You have a right to say no." That woman was angry and embarrassed. She said what she said. But your mind took it seriously. Even if you don't believe in curses, your subconscious does. I stayed quiet. He leaned forward. "You see, you started testing the curse. With each relationship, you acted more and more detached. You thought, if I don't try, and he stays, maybe I'm not cursed. But they didn't stay. Because you didn't stay." I felt like the floor would open and swallow me. He wasn't shouting. But his words stabbed deeper than anything I had heard before. "You want to know how to break it?" he asked. I nodded. He smiled softly. "There's nothing to break. The only thing you need to fix is here." He tapped his head. I left that place confused, but something felt different. For once, the fear started fading. Like ice melting slowly. The following month, I met someone new, David. I told myself, I will try. I will call. I will stay present. I will not act cold just to test the curse. I showed up fully. And this time, he didn't walk away. 3 months in, David proposed. 9 months later, we were married. Almost a year into the marriage, I fell pregnant. And the day my son came into this world, I named him Chokwibuka, God is great. Because now I know. Some battles are not spiritual. They are mental. And sometimes, the curse we fear the most is the one we put on ourselves.